Welcome back to Wisdom Rising. I am excited to have our guest on today, Laura Sitzma, and we recently did a Spring Equinox event called Tree of Life SpiritFest, and we had quite a crowd and we had a group panel discussion. And so the podcast is going to be on that panel discussion where we had audience members putting questions all day long. And it was a really beautiful, pretty large panel of people. And so I just wanted to bring Lauren on to kind of tell us a little bit about the event that we did and upcoming possibilities.
Yeah, so it was such a beautiful day, and it was wonderful to see all the local holistic practitioners coming together and them networking with each other and people coming in and getting to meet them as well. And the whole purpose of it was really to do just that, is to create that community of people that people may have been looking for a specific type of practitioner who could help them, and they just didn't even know where to look or didn't know how to access that, and this facilitated it. And not only that, it allowed a few of the practitioners to do workshops and not just buy things or just take a physical thing home with you, but also that learning that you got to take home with you as well.
Yeah, I felt like that part of it was pretty unique compared to a lot of like other spiritual expos. I mean, one, it was a smaller, more intimate group and space. And I feel like there were so many little pieces that got to be touched on. Not only did we have like this really beautiful entrance way of like retail-y, yet very like create your own, do it yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there was also like people who were sampling cacao and promoting their cacao ceremonies. And we had readers, and we had some really beautiful readers that were able to take people aside that were interested to do readings for them. And then we had the workshops.
Exactly. And for me, like even when I was in Australia, I would be attending different spiritual expos, and I found that there was so much focus on the buying of the physical things rather than the development of the person themselves. So that's why I really wanted readers, I wanted healers, yoga instructors, and then even if it was a product itself, you could talk to the person who created it, and they could talk about their upcoming retreats that you can attend as well. So it's not just about what you're going to learn on that day; it's furthering it outside, and yeah, I wanted people to leave feeling like they were connected to themselves and then also connected to other people as well.
The community. Well, and I think that was really where the sweet spot was, because in the workshops, you really got to get engaged. We had probably 20 plus people who were like ready to go do the experience. And so we had our first workshop presenter was doing EFT tapping, and it was what did she call it? Do you remember?
It's Biotap.
Biotap.
But it's like resetting your nervous system. So like right from the get-go, it was showing these really practical tools that you could take home with you, that not only you could benefit on the day and get that good feeling, that nice reset, you could take that home with you. And if you wanted to reconnect in with that practitioner, you had that access.
Yeah. And she was doing demos off to the side and things.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that was the cool thing about the demos, is that they felt really practical, somatic, experiential, something you could do for yourself. Like I offered chakra spinning. Jim McDonald did some Chakradance, like a demo for that. And then we also had Lou Beck, who was doing some tantric meditation, which was just really beautiful, like a Kriya type tantric meditation.
Yeah, it was like a beautiful journey that you got to take for the day. And it didn't feel, like you said, it was intimate. We still had I think it was even more, it was like 30 people in that space. Like it was at the Sky Oro space over near the water tower. but it's a beautifully curated space, and you're surrounded by plants and crystals, and it feels nice when you walk in there. So you're having this gorgeous experience that feels like you've just gone over to a friend's house and gathering for a really fun party. And yeah, you just are just making friends and learning at the same time.
Yeah, and I think that's what was happening. People were really feeling like I can sit down and talk to this person for 30 minutes and it be totally fine.
You're not going to get interrupted by like loud crowds or like something coming over
The head speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to hear a little bit about what you're hoping and envisioning for the next. And then we're going to go right into our panel discussion where all of the workshop presenters, Lauren and a few others who were present, are going to be on the panel. We'll start off by introduction. So everyone, you'll get to hear everyone speak for themselves and their introductions and really listen to the wisdom that people were asking for that day.
Yeah, it was a culmination of any additional questions that had built up over the day that they wanted to know about spirituality, about themselves, about development, about the workshops. And they were just able to put them into a box over the day, and we just picked out a few choice ones that seemed perfect. And each one of us got to, have our 2 cents answer.
Well, it was so fun because we each have different modalities. We each have very different backgrounds, and yet our answers were so complementary. They were so like in line with one another that it was really fun to kind of have that conversation to see, oh, look, you're from a completely different background.
Exactly.
And yet here we're saying the same similar message.
Yeah, and from different angles. So it gave whoever was asking those questions so many different ways for them to apply that to themselves. So I found that I did find that really interesting as well, hearing the answers from the other panel.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in Bozeman, Montana. And we'd love to invite you to our next experience, our next Spirit Fest, which is going to be.
Yes. So Tree of Life SpiritFest is what I've called it. And Tree of Life, as in like, the cycle of all of the elements. You've got earth, air, fire, water, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I would like to do 4 of these a year on, the equinox or the solstice. So the next one will be the weekend of the 20th of June. So during summer. And each one's going to be slightly geared differently based on that, that journey of like kind of growing from the ground. You come out of winter, you're springing out of the ground, and it is from the ground up, really. So summer will be maybe even more creative. It's going to be more active, music based. It's not just about the readings or the healers. I like bringing in creativity as well. So it's open to creatives.
Yeah. And I feel like that's one of the beautiful things about the way you put on this is that it would really honored the whole self.
Exactly.
And not just crown chakra.
Yeah.
This really is root to crown. And I think that's something that's really near and dear to my heart. And what we do over here at Moon Rising Shamanic Institute is really honoring the whole self and honoring the creative process and honoring an embodied experience.
Yeah.
And so, we got a little flavor of it all. And I can't wait to see what comes for summer solstice. So if you're wanting to journey to Bozeman, if you're listening from out of town, feel free to look at our show notes for those details. And otherwise, I'm sure we'll do another panel. So we'll be able to tune you in, zoom you in. So it'd be really lovely to have you. And thanks so much for watching and following along.
Yeah, and thank you for having me once again.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we had a really beautiful event here at Sky Oro today for a Spirit of the Tree of Life SpiritFest. And we wanted to come on to answer our questions that came forward today. So thanks for everyone out here who stuck around. Love that. And know that I would love for everyone just to go through and introduce themselves, their modalities, and then we can get to questions that we might have.
My name is Mariah Reese. I have a practice called Mariah Reese Soma Veda, where I do Thai yoga therapy as one modality, Ayurvedic diet and wellness counseling, and today we did a workshop with EFT or Biotap tapping.
It was so much fun.
I am Lauren Sitzma, and I'm etheric tide alchemy. This is the event that I wanted to put on, and these beautiful people came along for the journey, and I'm so grateful for that. I really am. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, more than the sum of its parts, basically. And that's what I believe in, alchemy, where two things come together and the crossover creates something really special. And I love that about you guys. So thank you. My background is I am a medium, a psychic, and medical intuitive. And I really am interested in a range of things, anything creative. So my journey is to blend.
My name is Lou. Happy to be here. Thank you for having this. I am the owner of Shift Inward with Lou. I do Kundalini Tantra yoga teacher trainings. I do containers of soul retrieval for Ayurvedic, and so many different modalities are intertwined in this. It's hard to name them all. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Christine.
Hi there, I'm Jim McDonald. I am a licensed Chakradance facilitator and also a sky dancing Tantra teacher in training. Today we offered a beautiful sample of Chakradance, so it's lovely to be here and be part of all this energy moving.
I'm Lacey. I am the owner of Mountain Witch in Bozeman. It's an interesting thing always to put labels on who and what I am and what I do. If I were going to try, I would say that I too am an alchemist. And I think I'm calling myself a shadow witch because I am so in love with shadow, so in love with the experience of it, the truth of it, that I kind of just create a space for the shadow parts to come out and play and be seen and understood in different ways. And then kind of the alchemy piece of it, like Lauren was saying, that intersection, I loved that, how you said that. Then kind of the gold and fire and purpose. Those interactions can be felt and seen. And it's really just helping people get in their trueness.
Yeah. I feel like we all are doing that in our own unique ways, which makes us such a powerful group to come forward. And I'm Christine Renee, and I am a shamanic Reiki teacher and trainer, and definitely playing in the priestess tantric arts as well. And just when I first came in today, I have to point out how colorful we all are. Like we are very, like I was like, oh my gosh, this whole day was so much focused on moving energy through the chakras and from root to crown. And then I looked around and I was like, we got them all covered.
We got it.
I mean, Lacey had the darkness. You had, and the red, like you totally held the red and the black, and I loved that. And then I was like, look at all this orange and yellow and green and indigos and purples. And I was like, oh, we've got it going on. So I really did actually want to highlight that. Like if you're watching this, like we are a colorful bunch right here. And I just love that because it really does speak to that expansion of being comfortable in who we are, right? And so I just want to say thank you for showing up as who you are, because I can totally see it. So we did have a few questions that came through, so we're going to get to those first, and then if anyone is watching online and you have questions for us, knowing our brief introductions, if you have questions, feel free to throw those into the chat. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. We've got, the more grace I find for others, the more I realize how much was given to me. How are grace and love alike and different? That's a yummy one.
Yeah,
It's a deep
yeah.
one. Love.
Different, all the same.
I think they complement each other. Like there's a beautiful complementary energy, right?
Mhm.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. The more grace I find for others, the more I realize how much was given to me. How are grace and love alike and different?
Invoking grace for maybe someone else, having compassion, right? Yeah, it's so heartfelt.
And I can see that turned around inward as well. Like how much grace do I give myself? And that is like an act of self-love, right? Like giving, I personally know that I have really high standards and struggle with perfectionism often. And so I can be hard on myself. And so when I can come to that place of giving myself grace, it is an act of love. And then I can do the same for others because everyone is on this spiritual journey. Everyone's is a spiritual being in this human suit. And so if we can just remember that everyone is trying their best and really we don't know necessarily what everyone's going through. And so when we can give grace, it is a way of giving compassion and giving love to others. And so it's like, I just feel it and see it and honor it as much as I can because it's such a beautiful, beautiful wave of energy in this earthly place. Mm-hmm.
Something has come to mind, and I don't know it exactly, but I think in Greek, there's 3 types of love. There's the all love, as in just love for everything, which I actually think is grace. And then you have like, you know, the love, the passion love, and then eventually that longing, deep, knowing like friendship over time. You can give somebody grace and understanding for who they are, but they don't get into the inner part of you. So that's where the difference would be. I kind of like give that, like some people can get into the club, but not everyone gets behind the velvet rope. But they can have a drink, you know?
Yeah,
That's grace.
Tough love too. And you know, when we set boundaries, when we're holding a loving space for ourselves and we create a boundary, but maybe someone crosses that boundary. So then we give them grace because we are showing them love, we're showing them grace. And hopefully through that giving of grace, we can help them learn more love on their side. So maybe that transgression isn't committed again or spiritual evolution and more love can grow.
I kind of feel like grace is a pillar, an energy, a frequency, a container. Oh, okay.
Higher.
Yeah. So I feel like grace is like a pillar. It's a container. It's a frequency that allows the alchemy of love, right? Because there can be shadow sides of love, right? There's a truth to that. There, you know, when we've experienced things, love can contain the shadow parts of all of it. And so for me, grace creates this energetic container to alchemize the shadow parts of love, right? To have the clarity, the truth of love. Let all of the pain, the trauma, the intensity of it fall. So you just get the clarity and the truth of it.
Taking a breath, noticing if there is anything else alive in us for that question. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Right, moving to question 2. With limited time resources, how does one know which modality will shift when there's long-term trauma, major life hormone shifts, ADHD diagnosis, finding voice, healing, etc., etc., etc.? How do we know the one true path? Is kind of the essence of what this question feels like.
We don't always. And I think, at least through my perspective in training, I do traditional Vedic assessments. I take people's pulses, I interview them, I look at their health history, I listen to what their concerns and goals are. And depending on what their unique perspective and experience is, then I select things that resonate or that I feel might serve them well. It's hard to know. It's kind of like a big experiment. But when we listen to our hearts, we're usually, I think, guided in a direction that is of service. So that's how I figure it out.
It's interesting when I hear that question. When I hear that question, it makes me think that the person's having a solar plexus thing, right? They can't make a decision. So I would actually probably recommend some sort of modality that works in this person's case on the solar plexus. But for other people, it's going to be a different analysis, like Mariah was saying. But that's what I'm hearing when I hear that question.
Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
I think it's a true tuning into yourself. I mean, when you can, almost a meditation in a way, right? Really listening in and feeling and trying. I mean, it is a grand experiment. I can't tell you the amount of stuff that I have tried, right? And continue to try and see and resonate with this, don't resonate with this. So yeah, truly a tuning into your heart. Your heart will know. Your heart will know.
Yeah. I think being someone who has had many experiences that are not so great, it brought me to a place where I'm doing things because I want to. And that's it. It's because I want to. Not because somebody says that that's what you're supposed to do, not because that's what female has to do, because I want to and I don't care how it turns out. I'll do it anyway. So, and that's how you find the things you do and do not. Because no matter what, you're doing the thing that you're meant to be doing, despite the outcome.
Mm-hmm. You learn just as you talk about it. I hear you say, like, you trust the flow of things, you trust the truth of things, and even the question in itself, there is an energy of kind of urgency to get it right, and know exactly what it's supposed to be, and there's only one path, and energetically that's kind of, not necessarily a trauma response, but when there's only one true path, I'm always like, hey, like, what tells you there's only one? And if there isn't an openness for expansiveness and so many different paths and each one, feeding the whole together, then that's something to even look at, right? And it does feel a little bit like, it's hard to trust ourselves. Are you kidding? When everything around us has told us that we shouldn't trust our intuition from start to finish, it's so hard. And so my response to that is, there is no wrong decision. There is no wrong path, right? Each courageous act forward, whatever path you go to, gets you closer to your truth. So it's not that one has more value than the other. You need one more than the other. It's really like everybody on this couch has said, which is find the way to ground in yourself and just follow where it takes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
there's lots of badass people in this space and in the community.
Right. And I think we all took numerous paths to get to where we are now, right? It wasn't like, I'm going to take my Reiki training and it's going to be the one true thing, the only thing that I do for the rest of my life. It was something that I started with, and then it opened up to the next thing and the next thing. It's like following the breadcrumbs, and you don't know where it's going to get you. Like I was having this reminiscing and looking back at my memory of going, I remember 20 catching babies at a birth center while I was studying Reiki. Like, who does that at 20 to begin with? And then I was at 20 years old, I was teaching couples about birth control, postpartum needs. And who knew that I was going to end up taking a sexuality facilitator training? And who knew that I was going to end up studying Tantra later on? Like, that was 20 plus years ago, right? And so it's like, we don't know why we're doing the thing that we're doing when we're doing it necessarily. And then it will lead you down a path of going, I have exactly the right knowledge and wisdom that I need now to take care of the clients, the people in my life. And it can be so many things. Like I've got so many, and I can't just say I am this. It's always hard. Just like, how do I label myself? Like I have a smattering of certifications, and now they're all kind of mixed and jumbled together and mushed together. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't want it any other way, because it truly reflects the uniqueness of who I am. If I was just this part of it, it wouldn't be the totality of who I am. And so to the person who asked this question, it's like, take a breath. Don't stress too much of getting it right or wrong. Listen to the next right step. It's just one more, the first next step, and then the next step. You don't have to do all of it right now. You have time. So I'm going to repeat that. So we have someone in the audience who is curious, when she experiences FOMO, the fear of missing out, how often are we really spending time still continuously learning at this point in our careers, essentially?
Every day,
Always.
with everything and anything. If something looks fun, I'm gonna try it.
Same.
I give a slightly different answer. No, I don't try everything. There are certain things that resonate with me, and I feel like I could explore those things forever. So for me, it's like your answer. I do what I want.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's being open, and sometimes it's me saying, no, not today. I'm sure it's amazing. I might be missing out. I'm okay missing out, because if I take the time, if I take that time away, I'm going to be missing out on where my heart really wants to go.
That and discernment, right?
Yeah.
Like using your discernment into what your heart's like, yeah, no, that's not for me, or yes, I'm trying that.
Yeah. So notice that the pieces there. Like I love these answers, because it's like the full yes is what you're looking for. That full yes is your heart's pulling you forward into the next right step, right? And so I feel like that spontaneous, inspired, intuitive pull doesn't end. You know, I feel like if you're in your practice, like you're listening to that intuition, you're still going to get those divine sparks of like, and now this.
And I think looking for repetition. So it's like, yeah, when we have limited time and resources, we're trying to direct our energy into investing, learning something. You have to realize what a commitment it is. Do I actually have the time to invest in it? Do I have the financial resources to invest in it? Am I going to stick with it if I choose it? Or am I going to, get distracted or like find the next thing? And so say, okay, I'm interested in this, table it. Opportunity comes up again. Okay, I'm interested in this. Is it the right time? Or, yeah, I'm not interested in that anymore. It's like you guys have said, it's the discernment, because we can't do everything, and we might as well do fewer things and do them well.
You know what you're saying, Mariah, makes me think there is a diagnostic that we could take from a lot of what we did today. We can ask that of each of our chakras. We can say, do I want to do this? Ask it from a root chakra perspective. Ask it from this, ask it from this, and then see what the council of your chakras come up with. And if it's resounding throughout, then it's certain. But even if it's a mix, you may decide, hey, my heart's drawn, I'm going to follow my heart. I need to be more, I can't afford it. I got to listen to my base.
I love that. For me, I guess my energy is a little bit more chaotic. And so I'm more like, the things that I'm drawn to don't always come with clarity, truth, and excitement. The things that sometimes I'm drawn to come with discomfort. And so what I have to do is notice that discomfort. And is this a message of this isn't for me? Or is this a message of this is for me and it's going to be uncomfortable because it's time to grow? Right. And I think the other two, like even the question around FOMO, right? To me, I hear your soul saying, I'm fucking ready. It's time. It's time for expansion. It's time for growth. It's time to start taking those steps, even if there's a little bit of fear there, right? And so it's like, kind of feel like what everybody said here was spend some time with yourself around the tugs that you're receiving and have that discernment, right? Is this a fear-based response because it's going to help me expand? Is this a fear-based response because this just isn't what's for me right now? And then the same with the pull, because sometimes if we're only going into spaces that feel soft and gentle and amazing, like that could also be a protection, right? A comfort to you, you know? And just know if you have FOMO, that means you're ready. And I love all of that. And how luxurious you are to have space to decide.
So, yeah, I love that. I love the being ready aspect of that. Yeah. I've studied lots of things. I've done performance, and I really love musical theater. I love creating, I love performing and what have you. I also love doing what I'm doing now. And I think it's that belief that why do we have to choose one or the other? And for the longest time, I still, dabble in performance. I never benched it. It's just there for me to pick up whenever I like. And it's the same with like the spirituality. I had a main job. We've always worked two jobs, or we're studying and we're working. Doesn't mean that we're giving up on anything. It just means that we're doing what we need to do. And that's very similar to what you were saying, Mariah, that you just make that discernment of this is what it's going to take to make sure that I do the thing that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. All right, our next question. How do you ground yourself through stress to reach to the higher self? How do you ground yourself through stress to reach to your higher self?
Well, it's truly about taking care of yourself and having that cup full, right? So what are the steps you need to take for yourself to be able to have the resilience to move through the stress or to be with the stress simultaneously, right? Because we can hold all that at the same time. And using those tools. I mean, it's tools.
First, you got to recognize when you are stressed. And I think most of the stress that we experience in modern society puts us in nervous system overdrive to where we're always operating at a level of stress and we normalize it.
Yeah.
And so I think today we worked a lot with breath. We were grounding. We were doing these practices that we can use as tools. But first you got to recognize, oh, I'm stressed right now. So my heart's beating fast, or like I'm frantic. I can't think clearly. I keep running into things because I'm moving too quickly. So first you have to notice, and then you can take a moment, breathe, and then hopefully we have enough tools that we can choose what to do to help ourselves out of it.
I think sometimes with stress, there's a temptation to use a stress response to fight stress. We fight stress. So that's going to only create more stress. So part of it is a long process of learning to accept whatever it is that's causing the stress as a welcome part of who you are. And that is easier said than done. I don't think that's something you just do overnight. I think a lot of these practices are meant to be practices because you keep working at them so that you learn to accept that that is welcome. And so so you no longer are trying to get rid of stress. You're learning to say, hey, stress is part of it. I'm alive. Of course I'm alive. I'm going to have tension. I'm going to have friction in this world. I'm going to have tension with people. People are going to get sick. People are going to die around me. I'm going to have problems making money, right? These things are going to be part of life. Can you find that's okay to be okay with this as being part of who you are, and recognizing that's not all you are, recognizing that there's this whole other nurturing, loving, sweet, moving side. And when you get that, I feel like you can relax in your stress. And that's a long process. And I believe breath is the beginning of it, and the noticing, and everything Mariah was saying, I think are the beginning pieces of that. And it's a journey that we're all on.
Sometimes you just can't control the things that are happening around you. And sometimes the stress that is being caused is because of an external thing that you cannot change, because it would mean that you're controlling another person's actions, and that's not okay. You don't want that to happen to you, even if you wanted to. So in those moments, in that, like, that pure radical acceptance that you cannot control the things around you. And by accepting that fact, you can let go of the strain and the worry of whoever or whatever is causing it. And like you said, sitting in a place of accepting that you're stressed about it and that there's nothing you can do about it. And in these moments, I always call it's a go eat chocolate moment. Because, just focusing on the thing that's bothering you right now is just going to make it grow in you. It may not make it grow externally. It is what it is, but it will make it grow in you. So you may as well go do something that you like while it sorts itself out.
To me, this question almost circles back to the original question, the first question about grace, right? And love.
Yeah.
And, and I think in my own journey, when those really big reactive moments happen, the greatest gift I can give myself is some grace, right? First, grace. Well, I think first for me is anchoring into the concept that it's all for me, right? It is all for me. Every moment, finding the truth and claiming the truth of it, and then having grace and curiosity. If I'm stressed, it means there's some information coming in for me. Now, it might be an external source that I'm picking up on. It might not be mine, but it might be mine. And in some ways, if it's plugging into me, it is mine.
It's a little bit, yeah.
Right? So there are so many beautiful ways, I think, to be grounded. And for me, just grace is a big part of that.
I love all of these answers. And going back to the question is how do I move through the stress so I can ground, so I can get to a higher state of being? And part for me is finding a practice for yourself. It doesn't matter. I don't really care what practice it is. It's the having a go-to ritual, a go-to practice, a go-to something that works for you. And I think that is so varied by personality and by personhood that that journey to find what works for you takes some time. It's just like the second question of we have all of these different pathways we can go. And when we can figure out, I know that me at the beginning of when I come into a room, if I can take 3 breaths, it's going to help center me. And it's almost like muscle memory. I can take my breath and find my center. And from that place, I can move into meditation, move into teaching, move into fill in the blank. And I'm going to be able to be in a more centered space. So it's how do we find our rituals and our practices so that we can start there, knowing that it's going to ground us. So then we have the foundation to move the energy from root to crown.
Ritual, the power of ritual, right? Yeah. So if you do those rituals and you build them energetically with purpose and intention, then you're literally telling your body that this is what we're doing. Yeah. And the more you do it, your body will it becomes like that neural pathway, right?
That groove that gets deeper.
That's right? That it becomes an energetic pathway so that you might even just walk into the space where you typically do your ritual and your body starts doing it automatically, right? It is the power of ritual.
And then bringing that out into the world with you too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's where the transition is. We start with the practice, we start with the ritual, we start with the thing.
Yeah.
And then the more you do it, then it's like, oh, well, now I'm in the grocery store and it's still with me.
Yeah.
Right? It kind of overflows into the everyday. Mhm. I love that, you guys. Any final questions from anyone online, anyone out here anyone for each other before we wrap up? Because I just think, wow, what beautiful voices we have here. And I'm so in gratitude that like we all have come from very different backgrounds and journeys. And look at how much wisdom is showing up, that it all resonates, and I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful that we are building this beautiful community of voices and honoring each other's voices and experiences and practices, that it just it makes my heart feel expansive. So
So you're saying we're the best and you should take our modality.
I love all of your modalities, and I do. Like, that's the thing. I don't think there's anyone here I
We are
haven't.
so wise.
Yeah, so take that. Know that you can contact any of these beautiful people if you want to practice their modalities. Maybe that's how we finish. Can we go through and just say, how can we contact or take next steps in the modalities that you practice? Do we want to start at the end and move this way this time?
Oh, okay. Jim McDonald. I have a Chakradance website from which you can get to most stuff. dance.intimacycadre.org. That might be hard to spell. So just remember Jim McDonald. I'm also through the Bozeman Spiritual Society, so you could find me easily through that website as well. And yeah, my Tantra work as well. You can find all of that good stuff through that.
I am Lacey Gangenbacher with Mountain Witch. So you can come into my store in Mountain Witch in Bozeman. I can also be found, my website is mountainwitchmt.com. And my email is mountainwitchmt@gmail.com.
And I'm Lou Ray Black. You can find me at shiftinwardwithlou.com, as well as at vibrantlivesmt.com in Dillon, Montana. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, everybody.
I am Lauren Sitzma, and you can go to etherictide.com. And best to go on Facebook, because I'm always posting different events that I'm doing. I'm with the Bozeman Spiritual Society as well, and that is where I also operate classes. I'm doing vocal alchemy at the moment, so vocal toning, most Wednesdays, and on Mondays I'm doing psychic development classes.
My name's Mariah Reese. You can find me online at mariahreese.com and learn more about my services there. If you are looking for some kindness and love through the form of Thai yoga therapy, I offer that, as well as other modalities to help you on your wellness journey.
Beautiful. And I'm Christine Renee. You can find me for my local Bozeman stuff at the BozemanSpiritualSociety.org website. And I also am over at help me out. What's my website, guys? MoonRisingInstitute.com. It's been a day. So thank you everyone for joining, Lauren for putting on this amazing event, for everyone who came. We send so much waves of energy out into the ethers, and we can't wait for the next one. So stay tuned. Thanks, everyone.